All right, guys, just a reminder, we have 10 minutes here. He'll have additional availability tomorrow at Ultimate Media Day. Who's got the first question?
Chris, you said that you think Lyoto's actually a more well-rounded fighter, and maybe a better fighter than Anderson. Well, what is it? Is it just the fact that he is well-rounded, or is there some danger in his striking and his movement? What is it?
It's definitely danger in his striking and movement, but that's what Anderson Silva had that. But what I think he has kind of over Anderson Silva, I think his wrestling is probably a little better, and I think physically he might be a little stronger.
Yeah. Has it given you any difference, like an edge in the gym, that sort of thing, to not be worrying about Anderson Silva, to having a new task, a new focus? Has it been more motivating for you, or had any effect on your own personal success?
I was really motivated for Anderson Silva, and I'm really, did I say the same amount of really for playing over Machida?
You said that you brought somebody in to try to mimic his movements in camp. Who was that? I didn't hear
Wonderboy, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He's a 170 in the UFC. He was 56-0 in kickboxing, karate, and he emulated Lyoto to the T. And at first, it's definitely very tricky. So I'm lucky that I was able to have him in the camp.
How much are you prepared for that elusiveness and striking? I mean, obviously that's what Lyoto does best in the countering. So are you feeling like you're going to probably have to take some shots to be able to get in close to apply your pressure?
I mean, I always expect to take shots, but I haven't taken too many shots in my career, but I'm always prepared to take big shots. I'm prepared to get dropped. I'm prepared to do whatever it takes. I won't lose every single round and come back in the fifth. That's the way I train. And I prepare for worst case scenarios, and I'm going out there for the finish.
Do you think in his ground game's at all being underestimated, and his takedown defense, what he's able to do there?
I don't know if it's getting underestimated. I'm not underestimating it. I expect to not get every single takedown I go for. I expect that Anderson Silva too. So these guys, everyone's good. Footwork is sometimes tricky to get down with takedowns. Every opponent's a little different, so every fight's different. So I expect for everything not to go perfect. But if it does, it'll be good.
How long did it take you to get adjusted? You mentioned people have said that in the past, that when they've got somebody emulating Lyoto, like the first week or two is frustrating as hell, but they can't get it down. So how long did it take you to adjust?
Well, the thing with me, I brought in Wonderboy for my first Anderson Silva fight and my second. But for my first one, the first day he came in, I'm looking at him, I'm like, I'm going to smoke this kid. I feel bad. I brought him over into South Carolina. And then I went with it. I'm like, I'm usually on my feet. I go like wearing guys down and just get so damn tired. And with him, he's still coming back in the third. I'm like, what the heck? And his elusivity and all that. I don't know if that's the word, but elusiveness was definitely something I never felt. Like I felt slow. And I'm like, what the heck? And then having him in the camp now, those last two in this fight has really helped me a lot.
Have you had doubters? It was kind of brought up on the stage here. Have you had people that have kind of questioned your legitimacy as a champion?
Of course, you know that answer.
Yeah, it's been great.
Of course. I mean, I'm a big time. I beat Anderson Silva. The first time I knocked him out, I know there's people out there that thought it was fluky because he had his hands out and he was trying to taunt me. But that's what he does, and I capitalize on it. And he knows my job in there is to punch him in the face. He knows I'm trying to punch him in the face, and he got punched in the face and went down. It's part of the sport. The second fight is definitely not the way I would have wanted the fight to end. First, to see somebody that was terrible. And then you want to knock out a guy or submit a guy for something like that to happen. It's just not normal.
I don't think I want to do that.
I wasn't as happy at all. I wasn't happy really after my last fight at all. Like, I could hardly smile. I tried to, like my coach was yelling at me, like, you did it again. Defend your belt and all this stuff. I'm just like, didn't feel that good. But coming to this next fight, hopefully there's no bone breaking.
I know you're thinking about Lyoto. Would you ever want to face Anderson a third time? He's talking about a comeback.
No. So I understand why there's people doubting out there. First of all, he's the greatest of all time. Like, to beat someone at that stature, no matter what, you're gonna hate us. He has so many supporters behind him, which he deserved. So I'm cool with that. And to fight him again, I fought him twice. I fought him 4 different rounds. And just me as a fighter, as a competitor, I want to fight the best guys out there. And I just think I was a better fighter in both those fights. So I don't have self-doubt on if I was better than Anderson.
You spent a lot of your focusing on Anderson, being how long he was the champ, and then you had the 2 fights with him. So turning your focus now to Machida, how different has that been for you in preparation mentally?
It was different. I mean, right at first, like as soon as I beat Anderson Silva the last one, I'm just like, wow, I'm not fighting Anderson Silva again. I visualized fighting Anderson Silva since I got into MMA. He was the champ. He was the guy to beat. Everybody I fought leading up in the local shows and beginning the UFC. I was training to beat those guys, but when I was training, I was also training to be the best, and Anderson Silva was the best, so I was always training for him. Yeah, so it's kind of like bittersweet to move on from the Anderson Silva era. But as soon as I got done, it's like a little weird at first, but then instantly you have these different goals that you have to obtain, or else, you know, it's like I put pressure on myself.
Chris, Anderson said he definitely doesn't want to fight you again. Do you think you built some kind of fear in him?
I'm not trying to put fear in anybody. I think he has respect for me, but I think he's a humble guy. He's coming back. I mean, the truth of the matter is he's not going to just come back and fight me. You know, he has to fight other fights. So to talk about me doesn't really make sense for him to do.
Do you think he's going to fight for the belt again one day?
I hope so. You know, he has a tough road ahead of him. You know, if anybody can do it, it's him. You know, I think mentally he was on another level than I was. He had a mental edge on everybody he's ever faced. So with somebody with that type of mental mindset, he has a good chance to come back soon.
And how much confidence a fighter can gain beating him twice?
You know, I wish I just had all those comments like, oh, there's no way I'm possibly losing. You know, I'm better than everybody else. But the truth of the matter is, like, I train really hard. I'm very confident that I'm going to win. But I always know there's somebody out there that could be working harder than me. And I'm human. Anybody could be beaten. So I'm not getting. You know, I don't have an ego. I haven't been beaten. I don't want to be beat, but I know it's obviously possible for me to beat. So I have that mentality. I'm not overconfident.
How do you feel after the knee surgery? Do you feel like it made a big difference?
Did you see my takedowns out there? No, I'm just kidding. No, my knees been feeling good. You know, it was really the surgeries weren't too crazy. You know, not very invasive. Just arthroscopic. The next day I was kind of jogging around the physical therapy office, even though I wasn't supposed to. But yeah, my knees feel great.
Take a question.
Champ, hey man, I know you fight all week. You train. I mean, you train all month. Then you watch the TV, man. Do you plan your post-fight meal?
Post-fight meal.
What are you gonna have after the fight?
Usually it's a little bit of a mess after the fight. That's a good point. Yeah, because it's crazy when you fight. Like if you feel like your world ends after the fight, you feel like nothing's gonna happen after the fight. It's kind of weird for me to even talk about after parties and all that stuff. I never can put too much thought into it because I just feel like my world ends at, you know, on July 5th on that night. I feel like that every single fight. So I usually just eat whatever. I usually get back to the root. I'm a burger guy. I love burgers. I've been gluten free, so I probably won't have the bun, and I'm gonna stick to that. So.
Nice.
Two more guys right here. Mike Chip back.
You've got some similarities to Lyoto in the stand-up, both southpaws, both very patient, both counter-strikers. Does that help you at all in preparing for Anderson, or is there too many differences for that to be able to...
I think so. If you're gonna compare them to anybody else in the UFC, I think they probably match up closer than any other guys. You know, so I don't know. We'll find out. But I felt good in there standing up with Anderson. I felt. In the second round of the second fight, I felt like I couldn't be, you know, there was nothing he could do to me. After dropping him in the first and just standing there with him, I felt good. And we'll see how I feel on Saturday night.
Chris, a lot of the intrigue around this matchup between you and Lyoto has to do with stylistic matchups. Do you think all that debate is warranted, talking about the stylistic matchup, or do you think your path to victory is more clear-cut than a lot of people realize?
I hope it's clear-cut. You know, I do see myself finishing the fight. But again, like I prepare for terrible situations and all that. That's what makes people. That's what gets fighters anxious. And you don't truly, as hard as I train and how much it means to me, I don't know exactly what's going to happen on fight night. You know? I don't really get too nervous until the day of the fight, but then I start thinking like, wow, I really want to win this, but you don't know what's going to happen.
In the honor of World Cup, I'll take one more extra time.
Do you agree with Ray Longo's statement about Lyoto's chin?
Yeah. I'm not going in there thinking he has a weak chin, because if I punch him with my best shot and he's still there, then I'm going to be like, oh crap, he didn't have a weak chin. So I'm not. Honestly, I don't watch that much tape. I watched 3 fights of his so far. So.
Thanks, Chris.
Yep, thank you. All right, guys, thank you. Do they? Because I never had it In-N-Out.
Tell him.
They had the buns In-N-Out? Wow.